Hello there, and Happy New Year to you from Szpakowo. So as it's January, there's not really that much to do around our farm as a whole. So what I thought I would do to keep us busy and start preparing our fields for the next planting season, here's reconvert some of this plot here into a field ready to plant sorghum for our VIP order. So what I'm going to do, if we go into the map view, is I'm going to sell the workshop here. I'm going to reconvert this all into field, and I'm going to skim a little bit off of here to reconvert into field, and maybe also a little bit around here. We don't need to have a big drive-in area here, considering we're going to be selling it all eventually anyway. That is the plan for this January, so let's get started. We'll jump in our tractor, and we'll drop off the spreader over here. Now I'm thinking if we drop off the fertilizer and fill up with lime, we can take the lime with us, and then once we've converted that field, or once we've converted everything back into the field, we can then throw a coat of lime down and it will be ready for planting in March. I believe sorghum is March, although I don't actually remember. Okay, so first of all, let's jump back into the build menu. Let's come over here and we will sell this vehicle workshop. That's gone. And I think what we'll also do is just level out this land a little bit, just so it's a little easier to plant and harvest when it comes around to it. I won't spend too much time or money on it because we're obviously getting rid of the field, but it would be nice not to have our harvester scraping on the ground when we're trying to harvest it. So we'll just even this all out a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's get this returned back into a field. I think we'll start off over in this corner here. Now I do have the mod installed that allows field creation with a cultivator, so we don't need a plough to do this. So we'll drop our cultivator down, we'll hit the Y button, and I believe that should now, if I check the help menu, yep. If I press Y, it's limit to field. Press it again, it's allow create fields. So let's drag this over the area that we want to reconvert into a field. And just like magic, all of the stones disappear. I didn't know a cultivator had these capabilities. There we go, we'll go up to about there. And then we'll do this whole square. And then we'll figure out how much of the rest of the field we want to do. Maybe I'll scoop a little bit extra out on the side of the field. Extra crop is always a good thing. So I'll continue with this and I will come back to you once the cultivating and the liming is complete. I'll see you soon. Okay, so that is the field creation and the liming complete. I'm not quite sure what's happening on the part of the plot that I recreated into field. If you look at the pH map in the lower left, it's not showing any lime being applied to it at all. I don't know what's happening there. Maybe it's not going to show it until next month or some other weird anomaly. So we'll just have to monitor that, come back next month and take a look at it. So let's take a look in our menus here. And we'll take a look at contracts. So there's no contracts to do. Yeah, nothing we can do in terms of contracts. So I think we might just skip through to February and see what there is to do there. I'll see you in February. Okay, so it is February, and typical February there isn't much to do, but let's take a quick look at our precision farming map for that piece of that field. If we go over to precision farming here, we'll go to pH. It's showing 0 for pH, which is really strange. If we jump in our tractor, let's start the engine. Let's go take a look and see if we drive over it, or maybe even try to throw some lime down, what will happen here. Yeah, nothing's happening when it's just using all of our lime, so I'm not quite sure what needs to happen there for precision farming to recognize that piece of the field. I guess we'll just have to ignore that for now and worry about it another time. Let's take a look at contracts for the month. I don't think there's going to be anything because it's February. We have a straw contract here, but it's 179,000 litres for 19,000. Yeah, I mean we don't have that much straw. So we have 115,500 litres of silage, and the max month is saying April. But if we look at the prices, we're at 238. If we look at the prices, we're at 243, and the best price is 246. So we could offload our silage this month. With the mod I have installed for dynamic crop prices, the max month doesn't always apply because the prices fluctuate throughout the year, and so one year's highest month may not be the next year's highest month. Let's take a look at the sale prices. Yeah, so I think if we take it over to Spactrans over here, we will get a pretty decent price for it. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll take it over there. I think what we'll probably do then is skip through to March and start planting our crops for the year. Okay, so here we are back at our other field, and we'll just drop the spreader in here for a minute. Let's quickly jump out and take a look at the state of our field here. So we are growth stage 2 of 4. Don't know why it's saying bad pH value. We put lime on it after we mowed it before, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Anyways, let's hook up to our trailer. We have to make sure that the silage is fermented. Yep, it's all fermented. All the grass is fermented into silage. So we have a decent amount of silage here. Let's head over to Spactrans and get it sold off. Okay, so here we are at Spactrans, whatever you want to call it. And this trailer is exceptionally unstable. You can see it's rocking all over the place, and I will be happy once it's offloaded. It's been an absolute nightmare to get over here, so let's get it over the sell point and let's get it offloaded before it decides to tip over. Let's back it in place. Now let's see if this all gets unloaded without spilling everywhere. There we go. Perfect. So a nice 28,000 plus 2,000 environmental score, so a very nice more than 30,000 euros there. That puts us in a pretty good position to buy our new silo. Actually, we need to buy, what do we need to buy first, our silo or our mower? I think we need to buy a new mower first because our grass will be ready for mowing in April or May, and we can then buy the silo afterwards in July or August once harvest time comes around again. I will also check to see if we have any crop that can be sold in March, but I think what we'll do for now is we'll get back to the farm. I'll go fill up with fuel as we're almost empty, and then we'll skip through to March and we'll see what we can take care of in March. I'll see you there. Okay, so it is April, not March. I decided to skip through to April as when we landed in March, I looked through the calendar. It turns out that both the crops we're planting this year are April crops, sorghum and long grain rice. So I skipped through the rest of March. There wasn't really much in the terms of contracts, so I thought I would skip through and start getting our fields planted for the season. So let's check our crop calendar first of all. We have long grain rice, which you can see at the bottom, or in the middle, at the bottom there. That's an April crop, and we will make sure that we plant rice in the rice field this year. And then we have sorghum as well, which is plantable in April or May, so we will take care of that. Let's take a look at our fields here. I just want to see what the growth stage of our grass field is. So our grass field is ready to harvest, which is fantastic. I'd really be interested to see how many grass bales we get out of this field now that it's fully taken care of with lime and fertilizer. So last time I think we got, was it 32 bales? I think it was. So let's see how many we get out of the field this time. Now, because the grass field is ready to mow, we will need to buy a mower. So let's take a look in the vehicle store, see if anything has come up in the discount store in terms of a mower. Nothing in terms of a mower. Okay, so I wonder what mower we should get. So it's not the front mowers we want. Those are of no use to us. We picked up the Kuhn front mower before, and so I'm thinking we just go with this Kuhn rear mower, because that is the matching mower and it's also within the horsepower requirements of our tractor. So for now we'll go with this. We'll buy it. There's no options for it, so we'll pick that up. That's over at the store. But first of all, we will plant our 2 fields. So we'll jump in our tractor and we'll head over to the other field, pick up our cedar. We'll get the sorghum planted, we'll get the rice planted, and we'll probably need to roll both of those fields. So I will get that done and come back to you when we're complete. Okay, quick break in the time lapse for a check-in. I completely forgot that in FS25 sorghum is actually planted with a planter and not a seeder. So we had to cultivate the field first before we could plant it, and also the planting is taking a lot longer because our planter only has a 3-meter working width rather than 5.2. So planting is taking a little longer. We've also run out of fertilizer, so I'm just on my way over to the store to pick some up and then we will continue. Still don't foresee any issues with getting everything done that we want to get done today, because we still have plenty of time. So let's jump into the store and see. No, that's specifically grass consumables. There we go. And we'll pick up. How many should we pick up? We'll pick up 2, maybe? I think 1 will be enough for now. Yeah, 1 will be enough for now. Okay, so we'll pick this up on the front loader, take it back over to the farm, and we will continue. I also figured out why I wasn't able to spread lime on that newly, or the piece of that land that we recreated into fields. It's because you have to rebuy the soil data. So if you destroy the field and then make it back into a field, you then have to repurchase the soil data, which makes sense because in real life you would essentially be relaying fresh soil. You wouldn't just be kind of uncovering the concrete and using the soil that was there, I'm guessing. I don't know. But it makes sense now. We have the field data. So once we're done with the planting and the rolling, I will go over that piece of the field again with the lime spreader. Anyways, I will get back to planting the field and rolling, and then I'll come back to you after we are complete. See you soon. Okay, so we are done rolling this field, and given that the planting is completely different for sorghum in FS25 to FS22, I wonder if the yields will be different, and I wonder if we will get our 9,000 litres of sorghum out of this field. We will find out in August or September. So let's park away our roller. In fact, we'll put the roller over here next to the seeder because we're going to need that for our rice field once we've planted it. So we'll park this over here next to the seeder. We'll pick up the seeder and head over to the rice field, and then we will get that planted. So we'll detach here and let's hook up to our seeder. Do we have enough seeds in the seeder? Probably do. Oh, maybe not. Let's make sure we have the right crop selected this time. There we go. Long grain rice. We're not going to make the same mistake as we did before. Let's head over to our pallet of seeds over there and get our seeder filled up. Now we're going to have to drive on the sorghum field, unfortunately. There we go, we'll get that filled up. And now we can head over to the field and get our rice planted. So we need to try and avoid all of the cars on the road, as we did before. I'm trying to think, do we need... I think we'll be okay without fertilizer, won't we? Or should we pick up the rest of... Yeah, we should probably fill up the fertilizer. Oh, we don't have any. We put it all in the planter, yeah. So let's wait for these cars to go, and then I wonder if we might be able to sneak down this road without getting caught by another car. We will see. It's looking promising. Are we going to make it? Looks like we are this time. Okay, fantastic. I'll take a dive down here. And let's head over to our rice field and get that planted. I will get this planted and rolled, and I'll come back to you once we're done. So I started rolling this field, and then I remembered that I didn't think rice needed rolling, which it doesn't. So I'm hoping what I've done there hasn't ruined the rice, but we will take a quick look. Let's just get off the rice field here. So let's see, how are we looking in terms of growth? Yeah, so we're looking all good. We've got growing here, growing here. I don't think that little bit of rolling actually harmed the rice field. So we are done planting for the season. Next task is to mow our grass. So let's get our roller parked away somewhere. I know I've mentioned this before, but we're really starting to run out of room here. We need to get some money together so we can start building up our farm. Let's park this right over in the corner there, like that. That should do nicely. Pick up our two mowers. We need to go over to the store and pick up the rear mower, which is just perfect because we can get some fuel at the same time. And then we'll grab our front mower from behind the windrower. And in fact, while we're here, let's just shift the windrower out of the way so we can get to our mower. Now, where should we put the windrower? We'll park it over next to the trailer because we need to... We're going to need to get to the wrapper and the baler after we have mowed. So let's, yeah, we'll shove it over here like this. That will do for that. Then we'll go over to the store. We will fill up with fuel, pick up the rear mower, and then we'll come back and start mowing. We got 33 bales from the last mowing that we did of this field, and that was straight after buying it with no preparation. So interested in what we get out of it this time. I'll grab the mower here. I should have brought the front loader over and picked up the granny wrap at the same time. Never mind. Oh, I should get some fuel, shouldn't I? That would help. Probably going to need it, as we're going to be mowing the grass, windrowing it, baling it, and wrapping the bales. We probably won't do all of that this month. I think I'll mow, windrow and bale, because that's all fairly simple to do, fairly straightforward. And then we'll pick up the bales next month. So while we're here, let's switch off the tractor. I just want to see our... I've forgotten which crops we actually have. We have sunflowers in store still. And yeah, their best sell price is in March. So maybe we can bring those over to the sell point once we've mowed our grass and done whatever we're going to do with the grass, because that'll get us an extra 5,000 euros. I don't foresee us buying any kind of oil mill soon, so there's not really anything else we can do with the sunflowers apart from sell them. So yeah, I think we'll do that, assuming I remember, because I do have a habit of forgetting about things. I would have to bring our small trailer over here and reconvert it to a grain trailer, because I converted it to a bale trailer before we ended up buying that one in the discount store. Okay, so we're back at our farm, or back at our field rather. I'm gonna shove this fertilizer out the way. And that's the worst place to put it because I need to get to the baler, but that's okay. Alright, let's do the second mowing of this grass, see how many bales we get. I will do the mowing. I'll try and remember to reset the baler before we start baling, and we'll see how many we get. We'll unfold the rear mower, we'll start it up, and yeah, let's mow our grass. I'll continue with this and I will join you once we have finished baling. Okay, so we are done with the baling. Switch off our baler. I had to stop by the store and pick up some new net wrap because we had run out. So I did reset the bale counter before we started, and we got 37 bales as opposed to 32 before, so it's an extra 12 to 15%, I think. Yeah, it's a worthy amount more for the extra effort we put into the field. So let's park our baler away, and what I'm going to do now is we'll get that trailer reconverted into a grain trailer, and we'll get those sunflowers sold off. So let's disconnect our baler and hook up to our trailer, and we'll get that taken care of. I think what we'll do is leave the bale wrapping until the next episode, because I don't want to go around this field at this time and do all the baling and do all the wrapping. So we'll do it next month, alongside just checking our fields to make sure they're all fertilized correctly, and obviously watering our rice, which is correctly planted. Okay, so over at the workshop here, we can just jump out quickly, get this trailer reconfigured. We'll do it to the 21 meters cube. There's no point in getting it any smaller. We may as well just have the biggest one we can. Yeah, I think that works. So we will reconfigure that. And we'll jump back in tractor, get over to our farm, and we'll pick up those sunflowers and get them sold, and that'll be an extra 5,000 or so euros in our bank balance towards our silo. I'm wondering what to do with the silage bales once they ferment, whether we should sell them or whether we should sell them because I think they'll be ready in, it's April now, so May, June, July, or whether we should collect them all and wait until the premium sell price, January, February kind of time, to sell them all at once. I think we would have over 100 bales if we did that, because if we're getting 37 per cut, we're going to be cutting at least 2 more times this year, so that's going to be 100, 111, 110, 111 bales. It's going to be quite the task taking them all over to the sell point at once. Now, whether it's worth it or not, I'm not sure. We will take a look at that actually. Yeah, so let's get these let's get this trailer filled up and we'll take a look at that. So silage goes down to 169 from 24 something. So it does go down quite a bit. It goes down by around 50%. Or around 40% rather. So yeah, I think it could be worth keeping it all until around January when it's at its good price. So that's probably what we'll do. Even though it'll be an absolutely monumental task taking it all over, storing it somewhere first of all, and then taking it over to a sell point in 1 month. However, around January we don't really have too much to do, so I don't foresee it being too much of a problem. So here we are at Henrik SP. Let's get our sunflowers offloaded. And there we go, nice 5,200 plus a 641, so almost 6,000 profit from the sunflowers. That is pretty good. Okay, I think this is a great place to leave this episode. I'm not going to do the wrapping today, as I mentioned. It's a task that's going to take too long and quite probably make the episode too long, so we'll leave it for the next episode. Take care of it then. So I hope you've enjoyed following along. If you have, of course, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you for some bale wrapping fun in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.